Well, and now we're going to continue with another video. This one is going to be painting the skip trowel ceiling. Remember, we've already scraped the popcorn off. We did the patching. We skip troweled it, and now it's time to paint. Now, there was a slight water stain over there, if you can remember, where we did that patching. I used some Kills on that. It's a water-based primer sealer. It's supposed to stop the water stain. And I also did a little bit down the wall where there was some stain on the wall. And make sure your paint is stirred up. And I'll be using a rack in here. Makes it easier to paint with. And I can go ahead and set the paint on the edge here to drip out, so I get more of the paint out of the bucket while I open up the other one. When they say blocking, what they're really doing is, they mean mix all the paint together. This was just shaken up a little while ago, but I still want to stir it just in case. You're so many surprised how many times you open a gallon of paint and it looks like it hasn't been shaken. You also want to make sure you scrape the bucket out good. I'm going to go and cut in first, which means brush around all the edges, all the way around, anywhere. Do all that first. So my brush, I also dipped in a little bit of water, so I want to make sure I shake that out well too. I like to tap on the foot on my shoe, turn them back and forth a little bit. So it's fairly dry, you don't have water dripping out the handle on you. Brush off any dripping off the outside of the 5. You don't want to, once you start getting messy, it just gets messy real quick. So, this is the bucket I'm going to actually paint out of. So I'm just going to put a little bit of paint in that. Put some lids back on. And go to work. What I'm doing is I'm painting about 3 inches out. That way when I get the roller, I don't take a chance of hitting the wall. Now remember, this wall is really dirty. It's got a lot of popcorn crap all over the plastic, so you don't want to be bumping into that. Also, you don't want to actually get the paint behind the tape. The tape is up here, but I'm not really painting like per se on the tape. I'm painting right next to it. Remember, a lot of times I left this tape down about an 1/8 inch away, 1/4 inch away from the ceiling. So if I slapped it all over the edge of the tape, I would get it too low. So basically, just gotta continue on around. You want to wipe off your brush fairly often, otherwise it builds up in your handle and then will start dripping down on you. Well, now that I got it all cut in all the way around all the lights, around all the vents, anything like that, I'm ready to start rolling. Got an adjustable handle here, spring loaded back here. You want to get the roller real wet without actually dipping it completely in, because you don't want the tube to fill with paint, then it'd be dripping all over everywhere. So just get it good and wet. I suggest you wipe your hands off and arms off relatively soon after you get the job done, otherwise it gets a lot harder to clean up later. A lot of times I wear long sleeve shirts and gloves, but today I didn't. But anyway, I got one coat on everything and I rolled it all this way. Some paints dry different than they go on. This one went on kind of transparent-y. You can see through it pretty easy, and it's turning whiter as we speak. I don't know if it's going to need 2 coats until I get back here tomorrow and take a look at it. So I'm just going to let it dry completely. Go ahead and clean up everything. I'm going to go ahead and put all my paint in one bucket so I can see exactly how much I have and can guess how much I used. You won't use anywhere near as much on the second coat as you do the first, but even so, you don't want to run out. Well, it's the next day and the ceiling looks pretty white, but not good enough. I'm going to have to put another coat on it. Yeah, it looks kind of like flat, shiny, just kind of a not even look. So I figured I'm going to probably have to paint it again. So yep, another coat today. Now for the second coat, I'm going to go perpendicular to what it was yesterday. That means like 90 degrees. So yesterday I rolled it going this way through the whole place, except for the little hallway. It was too narrow, so it was easier to do a hallway going the other direction. So the rest of this I'm going to have to roll this way through the whole thing. Doesn't take that long. The second coat doesn't use as much paint, and it will look so much better by doing the second coat. I changed the long sleeve shirt for the second coat. No real reason other than maybe I didn't want to get white paint on my yellow shirt. That's it. I got 2 coats of paint on the ceiling. There is a proper tool for that, but it's not here. It's in the truck. But this works good enough. Just make sure you get the lid on tight, because I go through a lot of houses where they give me the leftover paint to match something with, and the lid's barely on and the paint's dried up and it's hard as a rock. So even though you don't use the right tool, you're still going to make sure the lid is on properly, all the way down, all the way around.